Hi everyone, welcome to Modern Maven Tarot. This week's tarot is all about the Libra new moon. There was a very strong message related to the Strength card. While I was shuffling, I got the Strength card with every shuffle. First, it was with the Page of Swords, which the Page of Swords is forceful communication, that inner child that might want to speak something. With the Strength card, there is a lot going on in the collective that is asking us to remain disciplined, focused, using that strength and using your strength to speak when you need to, but also refrain from speaking when you are feeling as though there is something from your shadow side that really wants you to just speak the truth without thinking. Okay, so be very cautious with communication this week. There is a lot of fiery energy. I know that Leo energy is very strong for a lot of people in the collective right now. And again, with the Libra new moon, Libra wind, Leo fire, I just am getting this lot of fire energy. Now, how we can transform that fiery energy into being productive, all right? If we're feeling frustrated, instead of allowing ourselves to be consumed by frustration, focus on putting that energy somewhere else, to something that you're growing, to something that you're bringing into balance. There was also with that the Strength card with the Page of Wands. And so there is this very big wake-up call when it comes to the concept of discipline, the concept of strength, the concept of overcoming that takes you to a higher place with the Page of Wands. Now I'm sorry, not the Page of Wands, the King of Wands. Now the King of Wands can be somebody in the collective that it wields their power in a very positive way, using that fire, seeing discipline, seeing the courage that it takes to overcome. There is a strong message of overcoming, that there's a lot that is going to be communicated that is about justice, that is about strength and courage and discipline, that we will see sort of a shift back into what we consider to be a more balanced place for the collective. Again, a lot of collective energy, and also dealing with the people who are players, if you will, in this collective story. The last one was the Strength card with the Seven of Coins. This is where I feel like a lot of people are getting burnt out. I feel like a lot of people are going through their minds of how much they're putting into something, whether it be a relationship, their career, their children, their friends, their family. So much of this energy is feeling really heavy for a lot of people. And so the more that you're feeling this heaviness, it's a great time right now, especially again, writing your new intentions for this new moon in Libra. What is it that you want all of this energy that you're putting towards? What are you working towards? Is there something you're working towards? And whatever that goal is, it's a great time to give yourself a pat on the back if you've been working really hard towards something that is so important, but also to make sure that you are contemplating, because of so much change that has been happening throughout the last few years, a lot of major shifts happening. This Libra new moon and all of October really, since Pluto went back into Aquarius direct, is like a reset button. Clearly, the Strength card is a very big message for this Libra new moon. This reading is going to be for the Libra new moon up until 2 weeks after. Also, I had to take a break myself because the energy in the collective has obviously been very, very chaotic. And with doing tarot, when you pick up on energy, sometimes the energy is too much, and if you need to take a break, you need to take a break. And so that goes too with that Strength card. And also that energy in the collective is heavy, and it's heavy because of the players in the game of life, if you will, that we have energetically been consuming via social media, via being online, streaming things. And when it comes to that heavy energy, we do have to remember a key thing in October, and I was going to make a TikTok about this and I forgot, is how much do you consume versus how much you create. Because with Pluto being direct in Aquarius now, with this Libra new moon, what you consume versus what you create, what is the balance you have between consumption and creation? Because, and it doesn't have to be something where I'm going to create this to make money. It's just, I'm creating this because I'm passionate about it. It makes me feel happy. That's such a big message I think people need, is that you don't need to create to expect something from it. That's a very Western capitalist mentality, because we have been put in a position where we feel like to be creative means you need to monetize, right? And it's great to do that. But right now, creation can be even the spark of creation of your thoughts that are towards something that is positive. So creation over consumption. A good thing to think about during this new moon is, what are you creating? How much, not what, but how much are you creating? And weighing that scale of creation and consumption, and seeing if it is in balance, seeing if we're consuming more than we are creating, because we want that scale to actually be, the creation to be a little bit more heavy, if you will, in how much we are consuming versus creation. Because yeah, the more that we are passionate, the more that we empower ourselves, the more that we create, the more that we express ourselves fully, that's when this 10 of Cups, Mars and Pisces, everything in its right place, that contentment, that everything feeling nice and balanced and in a happy home, if you will, right? That comes from personal empowerment. And so are there sparks of creation that you have been sitting on? Instead of creating, you turn on the TV. Instead of creating, you go onto social media. That's a big thing. And it's, not calling anybody out, because we all do it. I do it all the time. I'm a Pisces. I do it all the time. 3 of Wands, Ace of Coins. Yeah. So there is a big spark of inspiration. There is a big spark of hope in the collective. And the more of us that can personally hold on to that and use it to just get started, all right? We have to have that optimism. This is a great time to utilize Pisces energy. I do believe Neptune just went back into Pisces too. And so that dreamer is calling. The dreamer is calling though, but the dreamer is saying, like, make something tangible, put something, create something in this timeline right now, okay? But yeah, there was Strength card again at the bottom. The Strength card again, Leo, discipline, courage. It's also a message too of, your inner, the inner wounds of your inner child. So a lot of Chiron energy. See if your Chiron is very active right now, because those wounds sometimes, even when we've done our shadow work, even when things are healed, it can still bubble to the surface, and it can find its excuses to bring up old patterns, thought patterns, emotional patterns, choices that we make, to make us think that we need to revert to a certain pattern of thinking, especially a certain pattern of thinking. And yeah, judgment, like answering the wake-up call there. Pluto in Aquarius, again, it just went direct again. So this is where I feel like those who have been sleeping, there is this renewal of fresh energy that is coming in, but we might be really feeling that burnout. And to feel alive again, it is really about balancing, okay? Know thyself, nothing in excess is so very important. And the know thyself and nothing in excess, see the balance, and bringing back this King of Coins. He is where he is because of discipline, because of dedication, because of hard work. And it's really this idea of shifting your perspective of, what do we value? Why do we value it? What do others value? What are we told we need to value? And really reevaluating the values. Okay, so let us see what we got for the Libra new moon up to 2 weeks after. So this will be themes that we see in the collective. It'll be how these collective themes affect us personally. All right, a lot of emotions. There was the Page of Cups and the King of Cups. So with this shift back, with the scales being brought back into balance with Libra, let me see if I can find that. It was the 6 of Coins again, and there are scales on there. Of course, I'm not going to find it. Hold on. Let me find that quick. You know what? Maybe it's going to pop up anyways. But the scales are in the Six of Coins, and we are going to be seeing major shifts. And also with that, though, the emotional growth. And the emotional growth is coming from people doing the work and understanding the difference between like childlike perception of having your cup, and then the mature, like caregiver, my cup is your cup type of energy. Okay. All right. Yep. See, there's that exhaustion. Ooh, lots of tens. Wow. Okay. So this new moon, it's gonna, so I know a lot of the, I gotta find that Six of Cups or Six of Coins. There it is. Okay, so see the balance. So this is going to be a big focus too of this Libra new moon, is the scales, and the scales being brought back into balance, because the haves and the have-nots, that's a very big, strong message that we're going to be seeing, especially with Pluto and Aquarius. And a lot of us just, now it makes sense why we see the Strength card, because the main theme of this is the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands, after the 10 comes the 1. This is indicating burnout. Collectively, we're feeling a lot of burnout. And this makes sense because I'm recording this the day before the new moon. And so there's this idea of the burnout is reflective of that Strength card. Like, you're doing so much, you're working so hard, and it feels like it's just this never ending. But what they don't see is that they're actually at the finish line of something to start something new. But it doesn't feel like that when you're stuck into where you're at versus where you're going. And so there does need to be that that balance of the where I'm at and the work I'm doing and where I'm going. Okay. And so I do think, though, a lot of us, unfortunately, we're so focused on a cycle perhaps that we're in, that we're not seeing a big shift that's coming. And what we need more of, so this is very fascinating. What we need more of is the 10 of Coins, and what we need less of is the Sun card, okay? And so I do think what we need more of is the gratitude, right? Understanding the positive things that are in our personal lives, that are in the collective. This is another important message when it comes to what we consume in the collective and social media and the algorithm, and how it, it's going to sway your perception of reality as much as it can, all right, to keep in a cycle, right? So the more that we can take a look at, even if we're feeling burnt out, again, instead of turning on the TV, turning on your phone and flipping, what can you do to do more tangible things, like earthly, right? Because there's a lot to unlock to us participating in life in the tangible 3D right now. Spending time with your family, spending time with your friends. Again, creating, if you're a creative, writing, painting, singing, whatever it is for you. The more that we can focus on that, and the more that we can unlock the treasures, if you will. This is also a great time to like go through your closet, and you're going to find something where it's like, oh my God, I completely forgot I had that, right? And so there's a lot to taking this new moon as this fresh start, but also just taking a look around your environment and being present and staying grounded. Okay, well, we have the right amount of, and so this is so exciting to see. The Queen of Wands, again, when you empower yourself, you power others. And this is a strong Pisces, Aries energy. So it's the fire with the water, all right? The fire and the water can work together. They don't have to work against each other. And so the Queen of Wands always embodies this super passionate, fierce energy. And so we do have that spark of ambition. This is something that I've been struggling with personally, is, you have that like, yes, I want to do this. And then you turn on the TV instead, right? And so there is this idea of like putting things off that we have collectively been doing, taking the easier route when it comes to something that we want to create. Because the sun in this idea, the sun is this energy of like just taking it all in, basking in the sun, right? Like spending the day just vibing, if you will. And there is always so much to be grateful for. But now is the time for action. And the Queen of Coins. So the Queen of Coins is telling us that we have to remember that it's the hard work and the dedication. Like you can visualize, you can, wish upon a star as much as you want. But if you want to be a painter and you never paint, how are you going to be a painter? It's that kind of energy of the creation over the consumption is so important at this time. All right. And we also need to reflect on the Six of Cups. I do believe that so much of this putting off is connected to childhood dreams. It's also the reminder of the optimism, childlike optimism. Okay. When we're consuming so much, we can unfortunately lose that dreamer aspect, right? And so there's something here within your dreams that needs to be brought back down to earth. And the way to do that is to create it. The other thing that I love too is the coin here. So there is something that you've been thinking about, that has not been done yet, that it's like you keep dreaming about it, right? Keep dreaming about it. And it's time to bring it down. Now, the outcome is the Three of Swords. The three of Swords can indicate separation, heartbreak, but this is ruled by Libra and Saturn. So this is important because, excuse me, while we might feel some sort of sadness, betrayal, or heartbreak in the shadow energy of this Libra new moon, whatever this is, the emotional lesson that's going to be, like, the heart is going to teach the mind, okay? There's a lot of, again, like that mental, there's something here and we want to get down. There's this idea of there's going to be a lesson that comes from this, because Saturn, your lessons, your challenges, again, the Strength card that kept popping out, discipline, right? There's going to be this feeling of loss, but that loss is going to, again, be on the precipice of something new, okay? So let's just get one more. Can I get one more card for that Three of Swords? Yeah, Saturn and Libra. The heart teaches the mind. That just keeps popping out. The heart teaches the mind. And honestly, too, I don't even feel like, as far as like this heartache energy, it's more of like, when like you've been working so hard for something and you finally get it and it's like you cry and it's just a multitude of emotions. That's more the energy that I'm getting from this. Okay, what can you tell us about the Three of Swords? Chariot. Okay, yeah, okay, so the Chariot and the Devil in the Wheel, your shadow energy. So again, this is that idea of there's something that comes unearthed. So while you're, bringing up your hopes and your dreams of your childhood, there's also some painful things. The devil wants to keep you stuck in the cycle that you're in, right? It's understanding the nature of appearances and working with your shadow, not fearing your shadow, recognizing your shadow as a part of who you are, because there is a major shift. And so there is something here where it almost feels like your shadow side wants you to, it wants to bring you down instead of seeing how the wheel is turning in your favor, because then it keeps you in the cycle, right? It's that energy of, what is it, like the hamster wheel, right? Like staying stuck on the hamster wheel instead of stopping and getting off and moving to something else. There is a lot of that for us. And this is collective, okay? So again, there are these ways for us to collectively break out of certain narratives, break out of certain societal restraints, but it takes some things that like we don't always want to do, that people don't collectively want to do, that might feel uncomfortable, that might feel hard. And that's where hopefully we can all come together and break free of this energy. Okay, Now we're going to get some past life energy that is connected to this new moon. All right, what past life energy? All right, spouse. Okay, I do get, all right, so when it comes to past lives, now the spouse card, this is just to me indicating that when it comes to ball and chain and being tied to, the devil energy, there is a strong sense when it comes to the relationships that we're having, and in the collective too, of obligation versus, what we truly want. And there are some relationships in our lives personally that we feel, it's this connection that has gone lifetime to lifetime to lifetime. And so when we see this too in the collective, where we're going to be with Aquarius and this, outward thinking outside of the box when it comes to power dynamic, there's this energy of being connected to somebody through a bond that keeps us where we're at versus where we're meant to be. Okay. And so expect to have relationships be a very strong message. Also too, I'm getting a lot of, in the collective, seeing a lot of relationships where breakups, people getting together, shocking developments when it comes, because again, Pluto and Aquarius, a lot of secrets are going to be revealed. And I do think a lot of it's going to be like, those power couples that you think where, oh my God, but they were, so great together or something. And then like all these secrets coming out. So you're going to see a lot related to relationships and couples and, oh wait, I don't want this deck yet. Relationships and couples and major shakeups. Okay, that's what I would say. And again, not just in the collective, but also in your personal life. Okay, normally this is what I do. All right. This is my first time doing it with me in the camera, so I'm a little thrown off with my reading right now. Okay, next we're going to do some archetype cards. Now the archetype cards, this is going to be the characters that we see in the collective, right? So this will be either, what you're witnessing or something like within your personal life or both. We all play characters in the game of life. And so this is some strong energies that we are going to be seeing in the collective. Perfect. Okay. This is so cool because again, like there is this yin and yang energy that comes with Libra new moon. All right. So first we have the destroyer. And so when it comes to what we're seeing in the collective, we are going to see both the light and shadow energy of this. So the destroyer, light attributes, releasing what is potentially destructive, preparing for new life. Again, why we're at this precipice right here. Shadow attributes, intoxication with destructive power, destroying others' dreams or potential. So there are people who can use it for good, right? To clear, destruction is clearing, or those who use it as a means of control and power. And so we will be seeing in the collective both of these energies very present right now. We are also going to see the visionary. Again, so much of this related to the vision that we have, okay? The light attributes, capacity to envision what is not yet conceivable to others, willingness to proclaim a vision without regard for personal gain. This is where that Pluto and Aquarius is going to be coming in really strongly. We're going to get a lot of this visionary energy. Shadow attributes, selling insights to the highest bidder, compromising your vision to make it more acceptable. We are also going to be seeing a lot of that because again, this devil energy is all about conforming to what keeps you where you're at, what keeps you in a cycle. Because, this has this many legs, so I should be doing that. Like it's a lot of that overthinking of your vision because you box it into the box that's already here. And Pluto and Aquarius is pushing us. It's trying to say we're not meant to be in this box anymore. Okay. Very cool. All right, now let's get an empowering question. This is a question you can ask yourself during the Libra new moon, setting your intentions. What can help you get to a deeper message regarding where we're going. Also, the 10 of Wands, a very big message with that, shift your perspective, okay? Shift your perspective. So much of this we are needing to recognize is all about our perspective. The idea of light versus shadow, you know what I mean? Like, is the destruction bringing something new? With the Tower, that lightning bolt of change brings the positive. Okay, how would I want people to remember me when I'm no longer gone? How would I want people to remember me when I'm no longer gone? If it's something that you're meant to be doing and you're not doing it, that could kickstart that energy for you. All right. Very cool. Okay, we're going to leave those ones because that is telling me a lot of people, again, there's just a lot of thoughts going on. Tapping, also really good. If you're overthinking, tapping is a great way to recenter yourself, okay? All right, let's get this Green Witch Tarot. What Green Witch Tarot message is for the collective? Green Witch Tarot. Also, too, I'm wearing my Loteria shirt and the 23 on here. I do think that there is a very big, significant astrological transit happening on the 23rd. Look into that and see how that affects you personally. Okay, first we have rain, cleansing, purification, hydration. And I love the flower that's blooming from that. I do think that this emotional release that comes with the end of whatever this is, when we can finally change our perspective and see that the hard work is building us to something. Again, strong Saturn. Oh, Saturn is, I'm not an astrologist, but I know that there's something very important with Saturn. And we have to remember the taskmaster is here to build our strength, okay? Going back to that strength card. There's this strong message of all the work you're putting towards is getting you to where you want. But when we get stuck in that perception of time and how long something takes, it really lets the devil take over. It really lets this, chaining you to materialism and capitalism and, all that energy. Okay. Mint, abundance, persistence, and proliferation. What did I say? Persistence. Okay. That abundance is coming. It's growing. And it really is going to be, oh, and I love the fish. I don't know if you see the fish there because there is a lot of strong Pisces energy here. Abundance and persistence. Persistence is going to get you this 10 of coins abundance, okay? All right, now let's see what crystal energy can be used. Sorry, I keep having to check the time. For Libra new moon. All right. Ooh. All right, Chrysocolla, silence. And I think too that that's something too, the shadow, it wants you to not actually be in silence to allow these messages to come through, right? Okay, so it's spending time in silence, like allowing yourself during this Libra new moon to not consume and to just allow your thoughts to come to you, right? Through meditation. And carnelian, creativity. Okay, creativity. There's so much that wants to come through creatively with us collectively, okay? And it's like, hey, getting some friends together and just having a paint night where you grab some canvases and paint. I love those TikToks where the couples paint each other and then show it to each other. Like, that's so fun. So that kind of stuff, childlike fun, okay? Childlike fun. I also think too about the protesters who are very Aquarian thinking with the inflatable costumes, right? There's this sense of rethinking what everything is in the perception of outside the box. So much of how we perceive how to do, how to operate is through a lens that is within a box, all right? Pluto and Aquarius is all about shifting that, okay? All right, so we're gonna do a couple more clarifiers and then we're gonna close this out. I hope you did enjoy this reading, and if you did, please don't forget to like, comment, and share. This is amazing. Okay. All right, so that's clarifying that. Let's clarify the end. All right, let's get a clarifier for the end. That's amazing. Okay, so With the Ten of Wands, we have the Seven of Cups and the Empress. And again, it really is about this strong, feminine, disciplined energy, right? And there's so much, and that could be too what creates the burnout. Perhaps it's that there's so many cups that we just keep going in this direction, then we go in this direction, then we go, and like, you know what I mean? And so it's like we're not even going in a singular line or whatever. If you can really take time to connect with Venus, Venus and Libra are strongly connected, okay? And this card is ruled by Venus. And so if you can really take the time to work with your Venus energy during this Libra new moon, super important. Focusing on the abundance that is available for all of us, okay? Because there is, again, when you are consuming, there's not enough. Nobody has enough, you know what I mean? And so it's like, how can we shift that to there is enough for everyone? Okay, now, this is interesting. The Six of Pentacles, Six of Coins coming out again. This was the one that was connected to the scales in that first deck. And the World card, all right? Completion, success, breaking the chains of whatever this cycle is. And so like I said, even though you see the Three of Swords, and that can be, you know, heartbreak, separation, sadness, worries, mentally, if we can get out of the mental gymnastics and get closer into our heart, again, Venus, right? Loving energy. The heart is going to teach the mind right now, all right? Overanalyzing is not helping us. If you have an opportunity to be generous, be generous. This is the perfect week to do those little acts of kindness. It can be to strangers. You know what I mean? It's as easy as donated to somebody's GoFundMe, you know, and you don't even know them. Like, it's that kind of stuff where it's like, I have $5, I can do this. My co-op, you know, they have a food pantry. Donate to your food pantry. There's a lot connected here to the act of, you know, be the change you wish to see. I know it's cliche, but this message is very strong when we come together with that Pluto and Aquarius energy, and we do as we say we want, okay? So I hope you enjoyed this reading. Again, please hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and tune in next time.